Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. When you purchase a CD, do you own it? Well, yeah, you own the CD, you purchase the CD, but what about the content on the CD? Do you also own it? Well, no, not really. You don't own it. You have the ability to listen to it, at least in that particular format, but now that you can easily rip a CD or take the music off that CD and put it on your computer, and then from your computer put it on your iPod or your Zune or whatever device, well, wait a minute. Do you have the right to do that? Well, Sony apparently has come out and said, if you do that, you're stealing. If you take music from your CD and put it on your computer, you are a thief. That's what Sony's saying.
Absolutely correct.
So, is that right, or are they wrong?
Absolutely not.
I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong.
The question is, do you own the CD, or are you licensing the content of that CD under certain conditions from Sony?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
You physically have it. You own the you don't own the copyright to the content. You're not allowed to sell it.
Right, exactly.
You should be able to. There's the fair use law says that A, you're allowed to make a backup copy for yourself, and that B, that you're allowed to put it on your iPod. And Sony's trying to claim the opposite.
Exactly.
You know, let's say I have a CD and it's it has a couple scratches on it, and I just want to save the music. I don't want to have the CD get so damaged where I can never ever play the music and it'll continually skip. So I just want to make a copy of that, and save it because I paid $11.99 for that disc. What's so wrong about that?
That's the problem. In this article, the whole problem that Sony has, the reason they're doing this, it says music labels make no money whatsoever on touring, radio, or merchandising. So, they've got to make their money somewhere, and file sharing is so rampant, they basically, I guess, suspect everybody of doing it. I don't know.
Well, honestly, what do they...
They don't come out and say that.
What do they hope to gain? Honestly.
I'm not sure.
They should be happy that someone purchased a CD to begin with.
Exactly.
Yep, true.
Honestly, they're tilting at windmills at this point. They're upset because Sony's Walkman and their whole line of products doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell competing against the iPod or the iPhone. Just doesn't have a chance. Now their PSP, on the other hand, is hardware candy. I can't wait for the PSP Slim. I think it's an amazing gaming platform. I think it's an amazing multimedia platform if Sony would just understand and embrace the culture. Apple's also falling victim to not having an open mind when it comes to their platform and with their offering to the community. In many ways, with the iPhone and locking it down, a lot of people are really, really upset at Apple. And rightfully so. If this platform has the ability to do it, and Apple is artificially crippling it, or they're doing it, but they're not doing it because it's a limitation, they're doing it because of politics, then there's a tremendous issue. And I think Sony is falling victim to the same mindset of just crippling themselves and hurting themselves. They're towing the company line instead of understanding the way the world works. I have no problem whatsoever with purchasing content. I do have a problem, however, in purchasing that same content over and over and over and over again. Listening to an album on iTunes with their DRM, and listening to the same album on Napster with their DRM, or listening to the same album on let's say Rhapsody or Urge with their DRM, or Zune with their DRM. I'm paying for the same music over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot for doing something like that. Of course I don't. I'm just saying that's the way it is. Why would I have to pay for the same music over and over again on someone else's platform? That's asinine. Paying $40 plus for a single album? No. They should be happy you're spending even $10 in this day and age. Honestly, there's a glut of content out there. The problem is that people aren't willing to fork over $10 for a full album when only one of those songs may be decent.
We talked in another video the other day about Radiohead.
Yep.
About the way that they were going to go, and that may open the door for artists to just put their content on the web, and whatever an individual wants to pay for that album, so be it. They pay the price, and that could bring the end to the to all these record companies.
Yeah, but
You know,
they're
it's-
How are they going to define copying when you buy the song digitally? Well,
Well,
whatever
here's
music
the
store it
thing.
is.
With iTunes, I'm sorry though. With iTunes, they tell you back up your purchased songs. You know, is that illegal? You know, Apple's telling you back up your music. You buy it, you back it up, make a copy.
Yeah, but at least now they're keeping that subscription in the sky. Meaning that if I move computers and I can be identified to that address, it can be re-downloaded to my local machine. I still am concerned about that. I'm more of a, and I've talked about this before too, more of a music subscription fan because I want to listen to an album on demand. I don't necessarily want to buy it. I just want to rent it. I have no problem renting it. It's just I don't want to pay for that privilege over and over and over and over and over and over again and
Right.
feel like I own it. If I purchase a CD, yeah, I believe I have the right to do with whatever it is I want to do with that content on the CD, so long as it stays within my world, within my realm. The moment I try to sell that, yeah, come after me, because that is absolutely illegal. I do not condone that. I condemn it. At every level, I condemn that. In fact,
Right.
wasn't there just a lawsuit from the RIAA?
Yes.
Where
Yeah,
was
they just won the lawsuit. The first
Today.
lawsuit where the person actually went to court instead of selling out of court, and the person lost and had to pay $9,250 per song.
Right. I've got the
Another-
story right in front of me.
Yeah, what-
It was in Minnesota, and it was against Jamie Thomas. She not allegedly, they won. She shared 1,702 songs online in violation of copyright, and she was ordered to pay $222,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wicket used to do the same thing back when Napster was a.
Wiki.
That was a very long time ago.
It was a long time ago. That's right,
Long
Wicket.
time ago.
You're reformed now, right? Especially after that lawsuit. Yeah.
Good puppy.
I've
So-
never really been a fan of music, so it's never been a problem for me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
See, I'm a huge music addict, and I don't have near as much music as some people do. I have almost a little over 1,000 songs on my computer, and all of them I got my sister's CDs, I got my mom's CDs, I got my CDs, my daughter's, all legally purchased, and all ripped to my hard drive so that when I'm working, I can listen to music. So now this woman is telling me that I broke the law. Yeah, she can bite me.
Basically.
well, but
They were all purchased legally, not downloaded from some
Right.
shady
That's-
P2P site.
that's fine. Was she sharing music?
She
that
was sharing it via us,
Yeah,
peer to
then-
peer.
Sorry, that I mean,
Huzzah,
I
in
that,
this case.
Yeah,
she was
that's legal.
she was well
And she was wrong.
yeah, she was crazy to do that, to think that she could have won. Honestly,
Yeah,
and you did.
and she was wrong. And
They were
I
trying the whole "oh, it wasn't me" defense.
Oh,
It's like you only have an
please.
IP address and a MAC address of a modem. It must have been somebody else.
Yeah, you know what? And I've long argued that the number one way that people get spyware on their machine is from file sharing. Specifically,
Oh, it is.
trying to download
That's how
music
I got
and movies.
started
and
doing what I'm doing.
they think they're downloading the latest Britney Spears album or her latest ebook on a parenting guide. But in fact, they're actually downloading and installing a Trojan or something that's really nasty. I mean, I've seen it over and over again.
Well, oftentimes it's worse than that. Is that just the actual software platform itself is
Full of
giving you
spyware.
Crap.
spyware and viruses without you actually even downloading and clicking on anything.
You want to hear
Kazaa.
something pathetic and sad?
Yeah, Kazaa had exploits for it where people could actually force you to download and run stuff without any user input at
Yeah.
all.
Yep.
Something that's really sad. Of course, you guys know, not everybody does. I do a lot of volunteer work on forums that are dedicated to removing viruses and rootkits and Trojans and things like that. And most of our staff members that do the testing and stuff, tearing into the viruses, seeing what they do and how to fix them, most of them get a lot of their infections by using a peer-to-peer program in their VM so that they can intentionally infect themselves. That says it all right there to me.
Wow. All right. So here's a question for everybody out there. To avoid all this other junk, I'm going to get back to the political issue. When you buy a CD, do you believe you have the right to listen to that content or watch that content, if it happens to be a DVD, in any capacity? Once you've purchased the ability to watch it, does it matter where you watch it or where you listen to it? It's a big question. It's a huge gray area, and it's never, I don't think, going to be answered. I don't think we're ever going to find an answer to that specific question, just because, well, content is not, in my mind, about the delivery vehicle. It's about the content.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And these large industries and infrastructures are all built on the model that it's about the vehicle, not about what's in the vehicle. That's why you had to upgrade your vinyl to cassette tape to CD, CD to MP3. I mean, it's a never-ending battle. And at some point it has to stop. And I think consumers, got tired of it. They got tired of having to, purchase the same album over and over again. They say, forget it. I already bought this album.
Right.
I could go and I could rip it myself, but it's easier to download it from the internet. I mean, is that wrong if they've already purchased access to that content? It's a good question to ask. What does everybody else think? What, Kat?
Sorry, I'm just going to point out something that somebody just mentioned in your chat room, Chris. Pay once, play forever.
Yeah, I'm a big
to the point.
That's something I agree with.
Well, the only thing I was going to say is that now that there are finally some services that allow you to legally purchase music without a DRM, like Amazon just started one, the problem with what Chris wanted was a service where you pay a subscription. Is the only way those services can work is with a DRM, because they need to cripple the music if you ever stop paying the subscription.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind having DRM for a music subscription service that I could take wherever I went. The problem with DRM is that it's not federated. Everybody's got their own strategy. Right.
The DRMs aren't an open standard. So
right. And that's my problem with...
They restrict the hardware they can use.
That's my problem with DRM. I have no problem with it in theory. I have an issue if I should be able to download a song once, and whether I'm using a Napster subscription, an Urge subscription, let's say if it ever happens, an iTunes subscription, it doesn't matter. Just let it be a federated idea. Let it be an open idea, and I'd have no problem with it whatsoever. But it's just that's the kind of content consumer I am. I'm just a subscription kind of guy. What about everybody else? Send me an email, chris@pirillo.com. Send some feedback. Of course, I'm sure you've already left a comment in this video comments thread already. And of course, you're welcome to swing by the chat room to talk with a handful of us. Cat, SC Thor, Wireless Packet, and a host of others, not just us. And then, of course, you'll also notice we have sponsors like GoDaddy. The next domain name registration that you make at GoDaddy.com, you can save 10% by using the coupon code CHRIS1. So you can register. The RIAA can kissmydrm.com if it's not already taken. I'm sure someone's going to register it now. Anyway, the website where you can find us chatting typically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is at live.pirillo.com. Anything else to add, guys?
Nope, I think we hit that nail on the head.
All right.
Well, I was going to say, I think that for laws that are for issues with the computer age, I mean, with legal issues, I think there should be courts strictly designed and built to deal with computer-related offenses, issues like with the RIAA. The judges trained in this stuff, lawyers trained in this stuff. Right now, having this stuff in regular courts is just going to have it go on forever and ever and ever. That's what I feel.
All right.
I agree with that.
Yeah, we can go.
We saw the whole thing with that teacher that got sentenced to 20 years in jail for the pop-up ads or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So sad. All right, Kat, take us out.
Okay.
All right. Come and join us anytime, day or night. Live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.
Wicket did it, too.